Okay, so Love, Lies, and Records, Season 1, Episode 2. So the episode basically opens with Kate kind of laying in bed. She's kind of going over the previous day in her mind. She is kind of recounting the conversation she had with Judy, and basically how Judy basically threatened her, telling her that if she didn't turn down the promotion, that she would release the tape. And so of course, her thoughts are broken because it's the morning time, it's a weekday, things are going on. So Rob comes into the room, and he's basically like, what the hell is James doing in there? Because at this point, they don't know. They don't really know at this point. Because remember, James came over the night before because his wife had put him out, but he didn't really go into detail about why. So all they know is that James is in the bathroom and he's taking too damn long, and you got people, there's a line outside the door, everybody got pissed, people getting ready for school, he's trying to get in, I guess, to get ready for work. It's just the whole thing. And so Kate comes out, knocks on the door, and it flashes in, now you can see inside the bathroom where he went in as James, but he's going to, I guess, emerge as Jamie. And so this is like his first step into becoming who he really is. And so he comes out of the bathroom, and of course everyone is taken aback because, of course, when he went in, he was James. So he comes out Jamie with his hair straightened and makeup, and he's wearing a blouse and a skirt and pantyhose. I mean, it just the change kind of took them. It took them a minute. But once they got their wits about them, basically, Rob pushed Jamie's ass to the side and got into the bathroom. And so they, finally sit down to breakfast. And this episode did kind of focus a little bit on Lucy and how something's going on with her. It's like you have two busy parents who, they're doing the best they can, but despite your best efforts, well, I hope I didn't just hit my mic. Despite, their best efforts, you still, children can still sometimes feel like they're not getting the attention that they feel they need. And so there's been this issue with Lucy's phone. So Kate knows something is going on. Lucy's been texting someone. Her phone is locked, so they don't have access to her phone. And so basically Kate is trying to get access to Lucy's phone, trying to find out what's going on with her. And so Rob concocts some story about, think there's a security issue, and he wants to make sure that her phone is protected, this, that, and the third. I can't remember if she gave them the password to get into the phone, whatever the case may be. But once she kind of caught on what was going on, Lucy, it was a whole big blow up, and I'm assuming, a flash to Kate and Rick. Now I don't know if Rick got out of her car or if he just happened to be outside. So Kate shows up to work. She's walking in. Somehow she links up with Rick. They're having, a little conversation. Some woman walks up and basically asks them, is this the place where you do birth, deaths and, registration, this, that, and the third? And they said, oh, yes, come in. And so they come in, and Kate is basically explaining to her, just have a seat, and we'll get someone to help you in a few minutes. And then she said, well, I'm here to see someone in particular. And the person she named was Rick. Rick something other. And he was like, oh, well, that's me. Why are you here to see me? But basically she wanted him to register her father's death. That's what she said. That's the line. And so, okay, so they continue their conversation. Kate, walks in and she sees Simon. Now, remember in the previous episode, Simon, he went to the office to register the birth of his son, and then Kate decided to, like I said, rearrange some things. She was able to marry him and his partner because she was actually dying in hospice of cervical cancer. And so later that night, she had passed away. So he's back, Simon is back to register the death of his wife. She told him that he had to make an appointment. He didn't know he had to make an appointment. He just showed up. But so because her schedule is so busy, she basically thought that she would go she had a meeting, but that she would come out. But not Miss Judy, bitch. Nope. No. She when Kate finally went into the back office, she realized that she was put on the board for a wedding. And they were like, well, wait a minute. So of course Kate is like, don't know anything about this wedding. What is going on? Oh, initially it was assigned to Judy, but Judy decided, oh no, it would be better for Kate and Rick to perform the ceremony. And so this was actually after, Jamie and Kate got back to the office, and in the previous episode, they had taken the ID back to the individuals, basically just to be, nosy, because Kate is feeling some kind of way about this couple who wants to get married. And so she, in the previous episode, she went by their house just to kind of see what was up. And so they come in this morning and realize that the people have filed a complaint of harassment, basically, against Jamie and Kate. And Kate was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. All we did was go to return the ID. So we didn't harass them. We don't know, we don't know now. We don't know what they're talking about. And of course, Judy is like, oh, this is unacceptable. Or that. She's on her mess. And that's when, they recognized she saw the board for the wedding. It was like, oh, okay, the wedding was maybe an hour away, I guess, depending on traffic. And so now they're trying to get things together so they could go and perform the ceremony at the last minute, because Judy decided she wasn't going to do it. And so it was best for Kate and Rick to move forward. Okay, so prior to leaving, Kate, she had the meeting that she had previously told Simon about. It was with their boss. And it was basically the meeting where she told him that she basically turned down the promotion. Because, of course, Judy threatened her if she didn't turn down the promotion that she would release the tape. So that was basically the meeting that she had. She turned down the promotion. And, I mean, that was it. Of course, the boss was, he was kind of confused. It's like, and of course, she's upset because she's good at what she does. She's worked hard to get to where she is. And because of a choice that she made, now, for all we can say about Judy and her foolishness, Kate is not a victim here. She got herself into that situation. Not saying that Judy should be blackmailing her, but, it's just she just got herself in a bad situation. And so, after that, Kate and Rick, Kate tells Rick that she it's done, and he was, of course, knew what that meant, and he was basically, this sucks. Nobody can stand Judy. No, nobody can stand her ass. And so, of course, they're both upset, but it's like, at the same time, what can you do? So as they're leaving, Rick and Kate are leaving the office to go perform the ceremony at the last minute. Rob pulls up, and he's basically saying, I've been trying to reach you. Why don't you have your phone on? She's like, okay, what's going on? Lucy cut school. So the school called Lucy cut school, and they don't have any idea at this point where she is. Rob is investigating a murder. They found the body of a woman in some lake. So he has his hands full with that. Kate has now been roped into performing this wedding. That's about an hour away at the last minute. So it's like, they're trying to, it's like the struggles of working parents. It's like I said, everybody's doing the best they can, but it's like you can only spread yourself so thin. And so Rob basically was like, okay, I'm going to go swing by the house to see if I can find her, and we're going to just see what was up. So Kate, and of course he said he would call her, let her know what was what. So Kate leaves, and she goes to perform the wedding. Now they get to perform the wedding, and I think the wedding was for Mark and Lindsay. I think his name was Mark. And she finds out that, and before they can perform the ceremony, there's like a list of things that they have to do, and it's basically confirming and verifying everybody's identity, making sure that everything's on the up and up, this, that, and the third. And so they have to interview the partners because they ask them questions about their family history and all of that, just to make sure these people are who they say they are before they can perform the ceremony. And so Lindsay opens the door, and it's a nice man. He's all clean and dressed and dressed to kill. And she was like, okay. She stood there confused for a minute. She's like, She was like, "Oh, did you want to interview Mark first? I'm Lindsay." She was like, so it wasn't until she met the bride, so to speak, that she realized it was a same-sex marriage, which is not an issue, okay? Not an issue for her, but it is going to come up later on in the episode. And so she, goes through, and so while she's sitting talking to Mark, she realized, that these two people have been together, they love each other, they've been together for so many years now, as it would have it, that they was able to see a time where same-sex marriages are now legal, and that they're now able to make their civil union, I guess, official. And so she did kind of feel some kind of way as far as it. She's an emotional person, and so, but it is, once she sat and listened to what Mark had to say, she was like, okay, this was hard fought, and they, two people who really love each other. And so, during this time, Kate receives a call. Someone found, I think some officers found Lucy. She was at the shopping mall. She was truant. I don't know, it may have been truant officers or whatever the case may be. So he gets Lucy, takes her to the station. He calls Kate to let her know that he has her at the station. And of course, Kate was like, okay, on my way back, I'll pick her up. So while he's at the station, a lady walks in saying that her friend is missing, and we're back to the body they pulled out of the water. And so he takes her downstairs to identify the body. If she's, it was her friend, she gave him her name, gave them the victim's name. And then, of course, he sat down to ask her a number of questions. So after the whole interview, Kate arrived to pick up Lucy. But while she was there, she saw the young lady that he was interviewing and leaving the station. And she remembered seeing that same young lady when she had gone to the house to take the ID to kind of see what was going on with this janky couple. So she's like trying, you can see it's in her mind. She's kind of like figure out what in the world is going on. And so basically, they kind of chew Lucy out, and they're trying to really trying to talk to her, trying to figure out what is going on with her. And you could tell that she feels like she's being neglected in some way, because I think she asked her mom, like, do you love me, or do you care about me? It was just an odd, like, off the wall question. And of course Kate looked at her crazy, like, of course I care about you. You can always talk to me about anything. And she knows that, but it's like she's a teenager and she's going through something. And so while Kate is out of the office, the janky couple comes in, but this time they're meeting with Judy. And Jamie is kind of looking, because Jamie knows, because Jamie was the person they initially met with when they got there was Jamie. And remember, Jamie had pulled Kate into the interview, and that's when, she kind of felt some kind of way. She knew something is off about these people. And so when they came back and they were sitting with Judy, now where at the time he was James, Jamie is kind of giving them the side eye, like, what in the world is going on over there? And so Simon is still there waiting for Kate to register, because he only wanted to work with Kate because she had been with him, basically to register his son, the wedding, and he wanted her to be the one to register the wife's death. So he's still sitting there waiting for her with the baby. And so while Jamie is warming up the bottle, Judy walks in, and Jamie asked her, like, oh, we were booked solid. How were they able to get in? How were they able to get an interview so fast? What, And he was like, and of course Judy was like, well, something opened up and we were able to fit them in. Is that a problem? Or something like bullshit. Okay, So then she asked him, well, what are you doing? He's like, I'm warming up the bottle for the baby. And then another thing that offended him was that she's still referring to him as James. And he basically said, I'm warming up the bottle for the baby and my name is Jamie. And she basically was like, well, it's going to take me some time to get used to that. She's just a hot ass mess. Just a bitter mess. Okay, so Kate gets back to the office. Jamie kind of fills her in on, the couple, letting her know that the couple is back there again. And she's like, what is so she's confused, like how they were able to get back in so fast. And she asks Jamie to pull the record since 2014. I think that's when same-sex marriages were made legal. She wanted Jamie to pull all of the same-sex marriages they've done and who officiated. And so once he brought her the results, she basically went into that meeting that Judy was having with the janky couple and asked her if she would step outside. And so, and during that time, she kind of, gave some BS apology about how she's sorry, she's sorry that they felt like they were being harassed, and she was really just returning the ID and this and the third. Okay, whatever. And so she's like, I need to talk to you now. And so Judy steps out of the office with the couple there, just outside, and she basically questioned her about why she didn't officiate that wedding, and how going back and looking at the records that she hadn't officiated a same-sex wedding, and basically called her ass out and just basically, you have a problem with same-sex marriages. And of course she's like, well, that's just ridiculous. I had this, that, and the third. She's like, you have, and then of course while they're going back and forth, the boss walks up and basically tells them, he tells Judy that he wants to meet with her. And Judy was like, well, no, I have someone in the office. And Kate said, oh, I don't have a problem finishing them up. And so the boss walks away, and Judy basically says, she needs to mind her P's and Q's because she can finish her. And basically Kate was like, bitch, I got some dirt on you too, so you need to watch yourself. Because discriminating, it's illegal for them to do that. And she was like, and I got, so yeah, you need to watch your step too. And so Judy went to the boss's office, and basically the boss asked Kate to join them when she was done, basically. And so she went in, she sat down. Jamie came into the office and sat down, and she basically asked the Slovenian, the fiance, to leave the room, and the translator, and she wanted to talk to the young lady by herself, and I can't off the top of my head remember her name. It's Christine. I think her name is Christine. And she wanted to talk to her alone, and basically she had this app that would translate, and so she was basically asking her, are you being forced into this marriage? Are you being asked to basically do something illegal by marrying this guy so he could stay in the country, this, that, and the third? And of course, she looks terrified. She looks confused. It's obvious that something is going on here that's not on the up and up. But at the same time, they don't have proof. I mean, immigration is investigating. I believe has some connection with this, which will eventually come up in a later episode. But at present, she doesn't really have enough evidence or proof to do anything about it. But she knows that something is wrong. Something's not right here. So after that whole situation, she goes to the office with her boss, and she sits down. And of course, Judy is once again sitting there with her face cracked, because when Kate turned down the position, the boss had no choice but to make Judy acting superintendent again until they could fill the position permanently. And so basically he told Kate, okay, this is the situation. Some of your team members, he don't want to come out and tell Judy that, bitch, nobody can stand you. So he is basically trying to spin the bean. He's politicking. He's, trying to be, and be professional about it. Basically saying that, a lot of your team members are disappointed that you turned the position down, and we have received 3 resignations since you turning down the position. So we want to give you some more time to think about it, and then, come back and then make your decision. So we're not going to do anything right now. We're going to keep things as they are with her being, Judy being acting superintendent, but we still want you to think about it, and we really want you to reconsider. And so, of course, Judy is sitting there just disgusted, right? Because she just knew that Kate's not going to take the position. So I know they made it so they're just going to hand it to me. They're going to beg me to step in and, take on this job permanently. But that was not the case. And of course, Judy Kate was like, what do you want me to do? They left the office, obviously. And what do you want me to do? I turned down the position. I've done all that I could do. And of course, Judy's like, you did that on purpose. You working to get everybody on your side and da. And she basically threatened her again that she was going to release the tape. And so Kate basically turned to her and just basically said, just fine, release it. Because it's like, basically, you're not going to keep freaking threatening me. Just, if you're going to do it, then do it. So, like, what do you want me to do? I can't, the fact that nobody can stand you. And if you had to work with somebody like you, you couldn't stand your ass either. So, what more do you want from me? Okay, so, she finally sits down at some point during the day to help Simon to register his wife's death. He invites her and Rick to the service. And it was another emotional scene. It's a very sad, a very sad situation. But, she, basically reassured him that everything was going to be okay. He's, like I said, he's a widow and a single parent to a child that's not even probably 3 months old yet. So it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And so she's being sympathetic, and she basically told him that she would be there. If she couldn't be there, she would make sure that somebody from the office was there to represent, would be there to represent the office. And so the day ends, they go home, and it's like several times she wanted to come clean about it to Rob, but there's something, like, she's afraid of his reaction, and and rightfully so. So she basically explained to him that the young lady that he had interviewed, she'd seen her before, and she had some connection to these people that's trying to do this janky wedding that's just with a wedding that's not right, and there may be some connection here. And so she sends Tom upstairs to get, because they're setting the table for dinner, sends Tom upstairs to get Lucy, only to find out that Lucy is nowhere to be found. Lucy done left the house, left her cell phone, and nobody knows what the hell happened to her, where she went. And that is basically how this episode ended. A hot mess. So, obviously, I am going to, like I said, I'm going to do one episode a week. So, obviously, we'll follow up next week on what the hell happened to Lucy. So, I'm going to end this here, and I will talk to you guys later.